And we are standing by now for that big bilateral between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping of China. It will happen any minute now. The main sessions of the BRICS summit involving all the other leaders is underway. It's about to wrap up in Kazan, Russia. But the big focus now is going to be on the Modi-Xi bilateral. Remember, it was only last evening that it was officially confirmed that a bilateral would be taking place. Up until that point, it was only speculation. It was off the books. It was not on paper. Only last evening did both sides confirm that a Modi-Xi Jinping bilateral would be taking place. The first indications that this bilateral would be taking place came 2 days ago when the two countries, one after the other, confirmed that some kind of a resolution had been reached towards normalizing military relations on the border in eastern Ladakh, where the two countries have been in a warlike situation, standing off against each other since May 2020. Gaurav is live with me from Kazan, Russia, where that handshake will be taking place very shortly. Gaurav, all eyes on the bilateral. Give us a sense of the mood on the ground. There are Indian journalists, there are Chinese journalists, Indian officials, Chinese officials. What are you picking up before this big Milan?
There is tremendous anticipation here in Kazan that the meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping would lead to higher directions being given by the two heads of state and government to their respective diplomats and commanders on ground to take forward the disengagement process. Or will those higher directions come? Now, China wants closer cooperation with India on the trade and economy front. India wants to ensure that disengagement leads to de-escalation and ultimately de-induction. It's a tall ask, it's a big ask, but that is India's ultimate aim, because India has repeatedly told China that every aspect of this relationship can grow only and only if there is peace and tranquility and stability at the borders. Unstable borders cannot lead to a stable relationship between India and China. So it remains to be seen whether Prime Minister Narendra Modi is able to convince President Xi Jinping peace pays big dividends and there is no profit from conflict, at least with India. So that's the point India is trying to make across, that if China were to disengage, then de-escalate and ultimately de-induct, or at least let there be a roadmap for this process, then you can move forward in the trade direction, in the improvement of economic ties, in indication in that direction. But till that time, it will be status quo, and if for restoration of status quo ante, China will have to take visible, credible, verifiable steps to disengage and then de-induct from the borders.